So I've watched a lot of the reviews for the popular YouTube video, Why I Hate Religion But Love Jesus, the spoken word, and most of them are a lot of mixed bags, a lot from atheists or so, some making good points but other missing out on other key elements, so I decided to make a video of my own. So first of all, my thoughts of the video comes down to really, what does he mean by abolish religion? You see, if you look up the definition of religion, you get a lot of things like a set of beliefs concerning the cause, nature, and purpose of the universe, um, a specific fundamental sets of beliefs and practice generally, the practice of religious belief, ritual observance of faith. And it's like, do you mean to abolish all of this? But you get a bit more insight when you actually look at his description. It says, a poem I wrote to highlight the difference between Jesus and false religion. Now, if he had put that in the video, false religion does this, false religion, that would make a lot more sense. But he didn't do that. He just simply said religion. And when you look at just his abolish religion, you come up with a whole bunch of problems. But more important than that is the idea that Jesus didn't come to abolish religion. You see, if you define religion, like say as a set of rules that one must follow to gain merit or favor by God, also called legalism, then in that sense, sure, it makes sense to see it as the new covenant superseding the old. But that's not the best view of it. You see, a more accurate understanding is that Jesus is a proper fulfillment of religion, or the law contained in religion. Specifically true, I would argue. You see, if you look at Matthew chapter 5, verse 17, it says, do not think that this is Jesus speaking, do not think that I have come to abolish the law of the prophets. I have not come to abolish them, but to fulfill them. For truly I tell you, until heaven and earth disappear, not the smallest letter, not the least stroke of the pen, by any means will disappear from the law until everything is accomplished. That's 17 and 18. So you see, Jesus isn't here to abolish religion. He's here to fulfill it. The Pharisees and other Christians before had eked out the best existence they could in trying to follow, but they dismally failed. But Jesus came to show the true nature of the law and how it would look fulfilled. So it's not abolishing. But let's look at his first statement that he starts off with, Christians and Republicans. Republican doesn't automatically mean you're a Christian. I mean, that's true. That's true for just about any statement you can make, per se. Democrats, independents. This made me smile. It's a nice talking point since historically the Bible Belt has supported Republican nominees. But the real question is more so which party's policies best promote the good of the people. Secure their rights and align with their Christian values, or if you're not a Christian, whatever values you hold. You see, maybe the answer is that both parties are bankrupt. Maybe so, but your job as an enfranchised voter would be still to pick the least worst candidate. Why? I see it as, except for theology, politics is the most important thing. It affects everything in life, from freedom of speech / worship, the economy, your rights, etc. Now, he goes on to say, if religion is so great, why has it started so many wars? And then you have to go back to the questions, what does he mean by religion? If we use this definition he puts in the description, false religion, then yeah, you can make sense, but he just puts religion. And he's using the word religion as if it is a person, like a gangster that did these certain acts. It's similar to when people say the capitalist society is evil. What do you mean by society? I mean, I've never met society before, have you? You see, religion, like society, is a collective term, which when broken down comes down to real flesh and blood people. So yes, people have been inspired by religion to do bad things, but people have also been inspired by religion to do good things. You can think of Mother Teresa. So the issue comes down to, if what the religion teaches is true, that's one thing, is what the religion teaches true? And second, the people who are practicing or use the title of the religion, are they actually converts, true adherents to the religion, and not simply using it for their own ends? You see, ideas or religion has consequences, because when people take those ideas to their logical conclusion, good or bad may result. Secondly, have you ever considered that some wars may actually have been justified? So to say that religion has committed wars, so true, but were some of those wars justified? Admittedly, many of them weren't. But when you read up, you can see, for example, Rodney Stark in his book, he makes a case called The Case for the Crusades. And I can't go into detail here, but you can look it up. So it comes down to just war. There's such a thing. And to me, what seems to be one of the more misleading statements is religion fails to feed the poor. I mean, that I just totally want to scratch my head at that one, you know. To me, that just misconstrues history. Historically, it was religion, namely Christianity and other monotheistic faiths, which helped and assisted the poor, started hospitals. In fact, if you do a little homework, ask yourself, before the United States had welfare, how did the poor survive? And many of you may be like, huh? Yes, there was a time, call it BW, before welfare. You know, there was no welfare. How did people make it? Did they all starve and die? No, the church did it. In fact, right now they still do. But the fact is that many of them have gotten out of the business since the government has instituted stuff like food stamps and all these different programs. But they're still there. In fact, so much charity flows from the churches that there's a book out, you could look at it at Amazon, called Toxic Charity, in which this author is begging and pleading with the churches, hey, you got to limit this stuff, you got to make it more responsible, because you're going to foster a culture of dependency among the poor. So churches are doing a great job of feeding the poor. In fact, if you actually looked up statistics, when have you ever heard of someone dying from starvation in the United States? Yeah, good luck finding that. And even when you go to overseas, churches have been there, sending missionaries, sending aid and money. A lot of times you fail to see the impact because a lot of the corruption in many of these countries. But yeah, so that's one of the reasons we can see that it's this mistaken. You know, that religion doesn't fail to feed the poor. It does a good job at it. Now, he may have a point if he's alluding to as the fact that religion can cause problems, per se, but I would argue this would be false religion. Like if you go to India, when Mother Teresa was actually helping the poor in Calcutta, the individuals, they were actually a bit upset because according to their Hindu beliefs of karma and reincarnation, the poor in their wretched state had deserved their condition because of prior wrongs they had done in another lifetime. So in that sense, you can see the problem doesn't lie with religion, because there are whole different religions out there, but with false religion. True religion does a lot of good. Now, I could go on and on and on, but I don't think it's particularly necessary. You know, like let's take for example a point that religion tells single mothers God doesn't love them if they ever had a divorce, and to me it's like, these are nice talking points, but they're not true. I mean, if you look at the statistics, if it's true that the Christian rate of divorce is near that of the secular world, that means most of the churches are filled with individuals who have had divorces before. So it's not the nature that churches say, just because you had a divorce and you're a single mother, we won't accept you. Far from it. You have to search long and hard for such a church. Exactly, due to the fact that a lot of the members have been through that process of having a divorce. But, you know, I don't want to end on a negative note. I want to give the guy props. He's trying to spread the gospel and do it as best as he can. And it's flashy and artsy and had hit on some core truth, especially like the fact that people shouldn't be able just to tell that you're a Christian by your Facebook. I mean, there are other nice lines too. And it's not all bad, especially like the fact that he goes in and talks about God's grace and love he gives to us, and it's not anything that we have to do. It's already done, the price that he paid, so all we have to do is accept it and become a part of the kingdom of God, etc. So, you know, there's some good stuff in there. I just think that these other points in there can get really people confused about religion, if it's good or bad, and things of that nature. So every time I think he mentions religion, I think he really means to say legalism, but that's a different topic for a different day. So my conclusion, I think religion is good, and as long as it's true, you know, because the whole point of that we're supposed to be doing is seeking the truth and living by it. Well, that's my 2 cents on the issue. Thank you. I'm out.